Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show. And I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved. I'm Monica Bermudez. I'm your host for this podcast, Ascended Earth. We're going to talk about the timeline shifts and the light mastering the galactic connection that we're fast approaching, that I feel. Um, so we're all contributing to the collective timeline through different decisions, and these decisions are, at the individual level, and they're in relation to what we choose to change within us, how deep we go in to do our inner work, and that willingness to want to do the inner work. So the key is the willingness to want to do, certain inner work within ourselves, and that includes, our patterns, our shadow aspects, and really exploring ourselves and the light, that we bring as well. So, as such, we volunteer to be here now to complete certain tasks, to complete cycles in relation to ancestral and karmic. And as a result, as these shifts and changes are being made within us, it's also shifting the collective timeline, and that is the collective consciousness of the timeline. So I can feel that there is a collective consciousness shift, and that shift is about, our star family, our galactic connections as well. So it's all interrelated. What I feel is that open contact is inevitable, and I would like to contribute to its acceleration through these talks by honoring my star family ancestry lineage, an honor that is also within you, especially if you're into these conversations. I would like to call it more of a galactic reunion with our star family because they have always been present for a long time, but kept their appearance hidden because most of us weren't ready consciously for them, which would mean a whole new level of nervous system recalibration. It would be a shock, right, if they just dropped in or popped in, especially if you're not used to seeing certain beings of a certain form, of a certain look, right? It doesn't look so human-like. So yeah, I can feel that, more and more of this deep connection, especially, that I have with these Lyran star lineage, star seeds, aspect. And I've shared in previous episode about the Lyrans. So recommend you listen to it if you haven't already. And to mention, that there is a lineage, and a connection also with the mantis beings that I'm feeling as well, which I want to share in a different episode about. So I would say that the universe is stranger than fiction, and like anything is possible. Look beyond your humanness and the limitations of your ego, only to rediscover the vastness of the infinite possibilities held within the universe itself. So let us connect into this vastness of who you are at the soul level and unlock those dormant DNAs that have been unexplored for eons. So it's like a remembrance and a resurface of abilities that are superhuman like. So why are most of us, fascinated with superhuman, superhero type movies, right? Like the Marvels or any stories in association to that? Why is there so much fascination with extraterrestrial as well? I would say there is no coincidence in the things we gravitate toward or have an interest in. There's an aspect of them within each of us, some connection at the soul of remembrance. So let's wake up that aspect that is ready to remember within your soul. Many ancient civilizations talk about the extraterrestrial context in some ways. We see their drawings in ancient pyramids like Egypt, drew its hieroglyphs, and the Sumerians, who were known to be the best record keepers of those other star beings. And then there are civilizations that are more ancient than Egypt and Sumeria itself, which, we're talking about the lands of like Lemuria and Atlantis, and those who have had lives in these civilizations, this remembrance is engraved in every cell and imprinted in your Akashic record of soul remembrance. So I would say that a lot of these, the ones that we find the history and the record for, like Samoria, which was 6,000, years ago, there are images that show what look like spaceship. And in ancient Egypt, you see a lot of these beings that are like that are humanoid, let's just say, that are, have like half animal and half human. And I guess it didn't really like hit me until I saw it for myself and actually saw the lion beings, which are part of Sirius, but are also are connected to the Lyrans, lineage as well. So the information that I'm getting, is that a lot of the Lyrans after the wars happened, um, that a lot of them scattered, throughout the different planets. And I feel like most of them did go into Sirius. So that's why you'll find that some of these lion beings are also in Sirius. And I have personally seen them through this whole teleportation vision that I had. That's a whole story in itself that I shared in some of my episodes before. But I clearly did see like half lion and half, humanoid being that looks just like those images that you would see like in those ancient Egyptian temples and drawings. And so I would say they are very real. And they are part of our star family lineage as well. Some of us will connect more deeply to certain specific ones. And so you would know as part of your deep inner work, right, as you explore some of the darkest and lightest part of you, only to embrace everything within you. And so I've been thinking a lot about depression, right? I spent most of my childhood in depression, and there are still very small moments that it does get to me. And I'm able to recognize it and rebalance it faster than before, which is a message that I want to share with you, especially if you've been going through this lately, because there's a combination of many things going on. I would say it's part of the solar flares that's shifting the human resonance and the heartbeat of the earth, which, we're a big part of the earth and the entire shift of energies that are occurring right now. So it is bringing up a lot of things within us, a lot of things that just need to be revisited for alchemizing them. And so there's this year, 2025 in particular, it's about emphasizing our mental health and keeping that rebalanced. So here's a different perspective. Depression is to allow the darkness to consume you with an ego out of control. Ego can go either way. It can belittle or overinflate. It's out of balance and out of control, yet it wants to control everything. And if it cannot control everything, it just panics and it goes into this fear, worry mode because it wants to know everything and what is coming. And it can't really see or project beyond its limitations, which is why we're composed of both our higher guidance and our ego. So everything is associated to energies. Our bodies are energies of different forms, even the natural chemicals produced by the body through the glands. And most of the glands are also psychic centers or chakra points. So how do you keep yourself on check and balanced? So I will share my biggest 3 keys that helps me get a natural boost of chemicals. And I'll share those towards the end of this episode. So, in all of this has to do with the collective consciousness shift on this planet, which starts with the individual, you and I, how we contribute is through our deep inner work. And I like to consider us as light masters. So, as such, we can transcend the human bodies, the human physical bodies, that is. I'm all about the superhuman, and this is something I've always been fascinated growing up. I would collect so many books on psychic powers, telekinesis, telepathy, and would study it with such an intent to develop them. But what it was also doing was really unlocking other aspects of my DNA to remember. And remembrance is just the first phase of that. And then you get into this whole thing about reconnecting and reviving and renewing. So, where we're all going through right now is this whole renewal process of a remembrance that we already hold keys within ourselves, within our DNA vault, I would say, that was locked up. And part of it was because we decided to keep it locked up until it was the right time to unlock it. And this is the right moment for that because of the way the energies are right now. It is time for us to remember that superhuman aspect of us, of who we are. That is why we're here in this physical form, in these physical bodies, because we bring in our own medicine of mastery. And is a mastery of energies. It's information and wisdom that we hold from the different past lives, but it's also from the different past lives that we've had in these other different planets or galactic systems or other dimensions. And then at the same time, there's other aspects of us that are living out different experiences in other galaxies as well. So, as I've said, the universe is stranger than fiction. So, anything is possible within the universe itself. It's infinite. So, this is all related to our open contact with our star family because it is through our consciousness shift that we are accelerating the inner timelines to shift the quantum field's collective timelines. We are all interconnected within. When you feel that strongly within, you will not feel lonely anymore. And I'm talking about feeling interconnected, that unity consciousness. And I'm not speaking in fluff here because I am actually speaking from personal experience. I understand what so many of the cosmic masters mean when they say unity consciousness or Christ consciousness because I feel it from time to time, when I'm not in my, going through a different phase, like understanding that through the human phases that we're all going through, we're all going to be in situations that are not so pleasant. But that is part of our mastery and our work that we come to do here.
Unlock your limitless potential with the monthly multiversal circle of creation. This sacred quantum manifestation ritual will awaken your inner power and connect you to the successful versions of yourself across the multiverse. Clear blocks, amplify your creative energy, and set powerful intentions for abundance, love, and possibilities. Activate your galactic aspects, recalibrate your nervous system, and manifest your dreams with cosmic clarity. Available in person and via Zoom. Join us for this transformative experience today.
So, and it's also a learning process. But in that learning process, though, it is also helping us expand our wisdom. And more than just our wisdom, but actually applying it to be of assistance to others. So, yeah, and I can see, the whole state of separation, how that, experiencing it from both ways. I understand it, as part of the game as well, that we all went through this whole separation as part of our human experience, only to reconnect and renew that unity consciousness and Christ consciousness. And the more of us who tap into the vastness within us and feel it for ourselves. So feel it for yourself, and this is what I desire the most, is the more expansive the collective consciousness will shift. I know we can shift into timeline that allows a flow of ease and grace. A shift that will get us out of this suffering and pain into a state of compassion. And that is why I'm feeling Goddess Kuan Yin so strongly lately. Because we don't have to be in that timeline of pain and suffering. You see, a lot of pain and suffering is also caused by our own doing, our own choices. It's not punishment. It's just understanding how powerful you are through your own will to make the change. And that includes our attitude and mindset and heart set, shift through our own reactions and situations. What if you're in what appears to be a never ending torturous situation, only to be a master of your reactions? Can you break the cycle if you change your reaction? Rather than screaming and yelling when there is a literal mess in the carpet, what if you approach the situation with calmness or in a different way rather than a reactionary irritation and blame? Does the cycle complete? I would say so. But at the same time, listen to your inner guidance, to what it's telling you, rather than complaining that none of your spirit guides are helping or that your prayers go unanswered. I know as humans, it can be challenging to not react to something. That is part of the mastery to learn through the mastery of our emotions. And that's why you're in the situation, because you're a master of energies and light. So, what if the situation is your super advanced degree to the next level of mastery or cosmic avatar state? Or let's just say it, enlightenment. I'm asking these questions to trigger a remembrance within. The real answers are within you. And I think about these too whenever I find myself in unpleasant situations where I feel I'm losing my patience and tolerance. And going back to what I said before, embrace all that you are through the shadow and light. That is the biggest consciousness shift. And as you do so, do we open the door to connect to our star families and our intergalactic friends? I prefer to connect with our star friends. I emphasize the word friend because, as you know, there is a mix of races within the universe, mix of beings, that is. And I would rather call our friends and family those who are all about the unity consciousness, crisis star beings who are here to help humanity. And just as we are too, because those who are considered to be galactic and starseeds are infiltrating the human race in a different way to help this collective shift as well. So let us connect heart to heart for a moment with each other, with our star family, with this knowingness. To conclude, let me share 3 big keys to get a natural boost of chemicals. Number 1, exercise by taking long hikes or walks in nature. Endorphins are natural chemicals produced by the human body through exercise. As science has shown through their studies, these also help maintain our mental health and boost us, with more confidence as well. Number 2, discover your passion for your purpose. So there is passion within you that excites you when you talk about it, when you write about it. Have a conversation with yourself and build that relationship. Get to know where your passions are and what is driving you. I have found lately that I am very passionate about writing. So even if I'm feeling a bit down or in apathy and I start to write, it's almost like a whole level of me opens up and I get into this passion mode that I just want to be in this writing mode. It's like a download of, I would say, higher guidance information. And it is a form of channeling, as many of us will become aware how we start to function and work. And that is part of the renewal aspect. But the first phase is that remembrance. And the last one is a big one, and that is music. So, specifically, though, I want to talk about Chopin, Beethoven, or Mozart, because I grew up actually listening to a lot of these musics for Mozart, Beethoven, or Chopin. And in a way, I feel it has like, it helped me get through my childhood's depression, feeling so different and out of place in this world. And studies are also finding that there is like, they discover what they call like a Mozart effect, which improves the spatial reasoning skills and it activates areas of the brain associated with memory and problem solving. Now, this will explain why I got through engineering school. I am getting an intuitive download on Mozart, and that is that it also opens up our psychic abilities that includes our clear cognizance. It's been said that many engineers have clear cognizance without realizing it. And I would say that this is true. And also like studies on Chopin and Beethoven, the music, it shows that it boosts mood and reduces stress. And these music pieces were composed of some of, solfeggio type frequencies, an ancient type frequency that is also helps with stress. Um, Nowadays, though, a lot of music does use some of these solfeggio frequencies, like 432, 428. And it's been said that Mozart actually studied some of these solfeggio type frequencies. So to me, though, these musicians were a genius for a reason, and their melodies still continue till this day to be listened and studied. So it has to be doing something, or there's something about it that it's really working within our DNA and impacting, I would say, the natural chemicals within our bodies and our physical bodies. So, all of these will help boost not only us at the individual level, but also expand our collective consciousness. And as we do so, do we accelerate those timelines for that open contact with our star family? And so I would, as part of this, I wanted to contribute to that acceleration of that timeline because I do feel it is inevitable and it is a time for us to reunite in that way. And it will change so much in this world as well because we will be ready for it as well at a conscious level. But as part of that, though, there is that inner preparation as well, which also all of this helps to regulate our nervous system too. It's all interrelated. So, with that, I will leave you with this message to always keep yourself balanced through your mental health. It's so important right now, despite, what is going on in the world or any situation. Just know that you're a master of the energies and the light, and trust that that is so. So I am sending you love, and I'll connect with you in the next episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like,
save and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.